Treyarch hid so many secrets in the Black Ops 6 reveal event, including a first look at the brand new Warzone map, a leaked date for the multiplayer beta, there's some rumors about zombies releasing earlier than the rest of the game, and a whole bunch more that we're going to get into in this video. Let's go. Over the years, we've seen many multiplayer maps get transformed into round-based zombies maps, like Nightfire and World at War becoming Dariz, or even Launch from Black Ops 1 being repackaged as Ascension. Now, this is relevant because some people are speculating that the World at War DLC map Battery is actually the base for Terminus Island. And there are some valid reasons for this speculation, as Battery was originally inspired by Fort Drum, located on the shores of the Philippines in the Manila Bay. And that's the rough part of the world where we know this map takes place. Not only that though, but you could also argue there's similarities in the geometry and placement of watchtowers. And there's enough similarity here that when I first saw this on stream, I actually commented on the fact that it looked like Battery to me. On top of that, it also has a huge cannon. That could just be a coincidence, but I'll let you decide. Now, if that idea is true, then this next bit of info might also hold some weight. During the reveal, Treyarch showed a huge excavator with a snowy backdrop. And there's a chance that this is potentially going to be a recreation or somehow related to Vorkuta from the Black Ops 1 campaign, where you escape the prison alongside Reznov and you're playing as Alex Mason. For now, this one's a bit of a mystery, and speaking of mysteries, currently Treyarch and Raven are being super sneaky about certain details regarding the playable character in this year's campaign. They've currently got the codename Case, but they hid the character model from creators that visited Treyarch prior to the reveal event. So who are they hiding? What iconic character is returning here? Is Reznov back? I mean, if Vorkuta's back, then maybe, who knows? Now, speaking of things returning, fan favorite score streaks are coming back, but there are rumors from a Brazilian creator that played the game early that say that the score streaks are not loopable, meaning you have to die before you can re-earn your streaks. This has been a little disputed on Twitter, with other folks like Modern Warzone here questioning if this is true or not, but still interesting that there's some conversation bubbling on this point. Moving on, the final kill cam was first introduced in Modern Warfare 2 in 2009, and it was a huge part of trick shot montages back in the day. However, since Black Ops 4 6 years ago, COD has moved on from the final kill cam and brought you the best play instead. But in Black Ops 6, best play is still going to be the main showcase at the end of the match, but Search and Destroy specifically will have a final kill cam for each round, which has been confirmed by Marksman. Now, something we're all waiting for is more info on Warzone, and at the end of the reveal, they said that they can't really talk about it just yet, but they might have actually teased a new Warzone map anyway. I don't know what else this could be. This map is huge, and it doesn't seem to match the layout of other Warzone maps, and they've only talked about 6v6 and 2v2 maps as the base maps at launch. So what else could this possibly be, unless it's an Outbreak map? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, as I'm sure you know by now, Black Ops 6 is launching on October 25th, and it's available on Xbox Game Pass Day 1. But there's some really weird details about exactly how this works. It's not as simple as you might think. If you have an Xbox Game Pass console tier subscription, you can only play the campaign of the game. You have to have Game Pass Ultimate or Xbox Game Pass Console and Game Pass Core to access the full game. That means if you just have the console tier, you can't play zombies. For PC players using Game Pass, you cannot play the game through Steam or Battle.net, but instead you have to go through the Microsoft Store. You can still buy the game on Steam, but this is specifically for PC Game Pass users. And PC Game Pass subscribers also can't get the Frank Woods Operator Pack currently, as you have to wait for Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone to be available on the Microsoft Store, which they aren't right now. On the zombies side of things, in the teaser for zombies, we saw this large zombie type, but is this actually just a reused asset? You see, in COD Mobile, there's a boss named The Butcher, and it looks like this. And sure, that one has a shirt on and it has a cleaver, but you can't deny they're pretty damn similar, right? Now, speaking of zombies, before the Black Ops 6 reveal event, we learned that Gobblegums are returning and that they're going to be included in the Vault edition of the game. But there's a big detail that was really easy to miss during the reveal. Gobblegums were introduced in Black Ops 3, and they returned in Black Ops 4, but with the name Elixirs, right? And they functioned similarly between the two games, but ultimately, in Black Ops 4, they just didn't have that same appeal. And the community were very vocal about that feedback, and I think Treyarch sort of saw all of that feedback coming out, and they were like, oh, I don't want to listen to this right now, like I'm really not in the mood for this, and so they didn't put Gobblegum in Cold War. But now, during the reveal event, Kevin Drew sat down and spoke about zombies, and next to him, he had a container of Gobblegums. Now, everyone saw those Gobblegums, right? But underneath the gobbles was a book titled Thanks for the Feedback, The Science and Art of Receiving Feedback Well, even when it's off base, unfair, poorly delivered, and frankly, you're not in the mood. So potentially, this means that they're trying to signal they heard all of our Gobblegum feedback, they waited a bit because they weren't ready to hear it, but now they're ready to take that feedback and act on it, and so we'll be more like the original Gobblegum system that we all loved a lot more compared to the Elixir system that we all disliked. Now, speaking of systems, in the last couple of CODs, we've had just really annoying and frustrating prestige systems, especially at launch, where your progression is basically capped and you're waiting for new seasons and it's just a pain. But thankfully, in Black Ops 6, Classic Prestige is returning, and another thing that's returning, which is slightly less of a fan favorite feature to be honest, is doors. Except in Black Ops 6, you can actually shoot doors open. Now, on an entirely unrelated note, probably to no surprise here, the winner's circle is returning after your match ends. Also, specializing your classes with perks from the same category now comes with bonuses, kind of like set bonuses. So if you equip 3 from the same category, you'll get a specialty bonus, and it gives you effects after getting kills, which is pretty cool. Another nice thing returning from the past, you know when a certain map would appear in the map vote and everybody would pick it all at once because they love that map? Yeah, that feature is also coming back this year. One thing that kind of needed a magnifying glass to be able to confirm that is coming back in Black Ops 6 is ranked play, which is kind of no surprise, but the question is, will it release at launch? It's in the UI currently that the devs are working on, so let's cross our fingers on this one. Another really neat thing that's been noticed, and this is really an accessibility feature, but it's just helpful overall, is that now when a character is speaking during campaign, for example, an arrow is going to point towards the person that is speaking, so you know where exactly they are in front of you. This will obviously help if you can't see their mouth or something, you'll still be able to tell who's who. Also, vertical menus are coming back, which is cool. So class selection will have the traditional vertical layout. Another thing that's coming back, which is really a good sign in my opinion, is that in recent years, starting with Cold War, weapon attachment and progression has been shared between multiplayer and zombies, so you can level up before heading into a sweaty multiplayer lobby, and that's coming back in Black Ops 6. Now, this is the 6th Black Ops game, and Treyarch have confirmed they see Cold War as the 5th Black Ops game, but this means that the timeline is going to get a little bit funky. Now, remember, Treyarch let the player make significant choices that affected the story in Black Ops 2 campaign, and one of those moments is now really sort of locked into being canon and official and a fixed point in time. So there's a part of the story where you're playing as Woods and you're ordered to shoot someone who is supposed to be Raul Menendez, and in the story, it turns out that that guy was actually Alex Mason. And in Black Ops 6, that part of the optional story in Black Ops 2 is the official canon version of events. Woods killed Mason, officially. It's pretty crazy. And speaking of Woods, there's more from Black Ops 2 that's also officially canon. So Menendez shot Woods in both knees, and now he has to use a wheelchair, now officially canon. Except he's also got complete full working use of his legs and spine and whatever else was potentially damaged in that shooting if you pre-order the Vault Edition of BO6. Like, that skin's just chilling. Now, pivoting back to multiplayer for a second, creators shared a lot of information that is not officially revealed right now, but they more or less told these creators that weapon stats and the firing range are going to return in Black Ops 6. Another thing Treyarch's been a bit cagey about is Nuketown. So Nuketown has been brought back to every Black Ops game since it was first introduced in 2010. And you'd assume that would be no different in Black Ops 6, but they confirmed 16 brand new multiplayer maps that are not remasters. So where does that leave Nuketown? Furthermore, they did actually tease Nuketown during the reveal, as you can see here. So are they bringing Nuketown back on top of the 16 brand new maps? Are remasters going to be coming with seasonal updates? Like, where exactly does that fit into the picture? For this, we're going to have to wait and see. But for the naysayers that might think that Nuketown has actually just been forgotten, you can actually see it in the background of the dev menu's UI. This was a really great spot. Like, this took some serious magnifying glasses to sort of see this one. But it's interesting. I wonder what that is going to mean for how they're kind of positioning the multiplayer and where Nuketown fits in their lore. Now, speaking of MP, while they haven't done the full MP reveal yet, they did tease a new multiplayer mode mode in this Black Ops Direct. It's called Intercept. There's 3 objective markers, so maybe it's something like Capture the Flag or something like World at War's War Mode maybe. War Mode had 3 objective locations where your team first had to capture the middle objective and then was able to move on to the objective closer to the enemy spawn area. Maybe that's what Intercept is, maybe it's coming back, or maybe it's something new entirely. Leave your thoughts below. Now, another thing that fans are going to be pretty happy to see, I think, is medals. So the medal system from Cold War was a really nice dopamine boost for the sound and for the visuals, especially in zombies actually. And medals have been spotted in Black Ops 6. We don't know if it's returning to zombies, and admittedly, some kind of more traditionalists, like the older school players, some of them hate the medals. So I'm going to open the floor to you guys. Like, do you want to see these medals come back in zombies? Not in zombies? Like, where should they go? Should they just be chucked in the bin? Curious to hear your thoughts. Now, one of the biggest talking points regarding Black Ops 6 overall so far has been the brand new movement system called Omni Movement. And we know that you can sprint and dive and slide and all that sort of jazz in any direction now, but not all players are going to want to take that leap to Omni Movement. Thankfully, you can toggle it on or off in the menus, and it's also going to be in zombies as they showed in the showcase. And that makes me wonder how PhD is going to be affected. Like, what kind of elemental effect might happen if you scoot backwards or dive backwards instead of forwards? Could they have a different element in different directions, for instance? That could be really cool. Now, there's been a lot of confusion surrounding the file size of the game, this 306 or 310 gigabyte number that has been floated in a bunch of places. And just to sort of clarify on this and give context on this, basically, if you download Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Warzone, and Black Ops 6, and all language packs, it'll come out to 306 gig, okay? COD confirmed, though, that Black Ops 6 alone is going to be much smaller than 306 gig. So you don't need to worry too much about only having like 150 free or something. I wouldn't expect the game to be much less than maybe 100 gig, but it's a lot less than 300, that's for sure. Now, on this point, another big point of contention, I would say, is the fact that the game is always online, and they're doing this so that they can use texture streaming in all modes to try and reduce the amount of information and data that you have to have on disk, and instead that can just be beamed into your console via the internet. But this has big problems associated with it because it means the game is always online, and I just did a huge video talking about this point. It's linked on screen right now. Carry forward has been a huge topic of discussion in COD in recent years, and the fact that it's there in Modern Warfare 3 is just delicious, it's glorious, and the fact that skins carry over as well is amazing. However, nothing from those 2 games is going to carry forward into Black Ops 6. You'll be starting totally fresh, other than owning the Woods operator if you got the Vault Edition. However, that doesn't mean not every single weapon is returning, right? Some weapons are returning. Guns like the XM4 and M13B have already been spotted actually during the reveal. And also, in case you're sort of uncertain on this, Black Ops 6 content is going to be in Warzone. That's not just going to be Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 stuff. Now, as I'm sure many of you remember, in Black Ops Cold War, in the Zombies mode, they introduced this salvage system where you could upgrade your armor and repair your armor and weapon rarities and all that stuff. That's returning in Black Ops 6. They didn't make a big deal of this, but you can actually spot salvage falling from a zombie here, and you can maybe see a little blue grenade being dropped as well. So the drops system is returning. I guess we can confirm that too, but narrowly, salvage is back. Also, this is a much discussed point, but Zombies has really suffered from having an operator system in Cold War, and in this game, we finally have a dedicated crew, which is amazing, but they're optional, so you can still play as operators, but if you play as the dedicated crew, you'll get set voice lines and lore and stuff like that, which is amazing. And the characters are Weaver, Dr. Gray, Carver, and a new woman whose full name is Maya Aguinaldo. Weirdly, we have some information about Maya, and I don't know how this has gotten out into the public, but it has done. Maya is apparently working to help free Requiem, because Requiem, that's Weaver, Dr. Gray, and Carver, were imprisoned at the end of Cold War, but she supposedly has an ulterior motive for wanting to free Requiem, so maybe she's working for Peck or is allied to Peck in some way. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Maybe we're going to get a situation where one character has unique information that the others don't have, similar to the dynamic that we had with Richtofen and the rest of the crew back in the day. That would be pretty awesome. There's also a rumor right now that the Rampage Inducer from Cold War is returning. So this is a feature that they added pretty late into the game's lifecycle. It sped up zombie movement speeds and spawn rates until I think it was around 55. And that's been rumored to be returning, which makes total sense, to be honest, because Treyarch are obviously going to be most happy with some of the most recent design decisions they made, and the Rampage Inducer is one of their more recent additions, so pretty likely that that is returning. Now, in the Zombies teaser, we saw a massive trap, right? that big cannon ship deck cannon thing, that was actually leaked before any of this sort of stuff came out. Months and months ago, there were conversations about a deck cannon trap. What you may not be aware of is that there are apparently a couple of other traps. One of them is a tentacle trap, apparently, and the other is an arrow trap. Don't know much more detail on that right now, but stay tuned. Maybe subscribe to the channel if you want more updates on what the hell that ends up turning into. Also, as I mentioned in my video yesterday, the other map, so we saw a lot of gameplay of the Terminus Island map, right? The other map is going to be Liberty Falls, as I theorized about 2 weeks ago here. That theory came true, but that map is also in multiplayer. So you can see it's got a video store, it's got a motel, there's a gas station, a bowling alley, comic shop, and a church. Now, current assumption is that there's no set crew for this map, but what I'd love to see is that there's just a different set crew. Like, imagine if we play as Richtofen, seeing as this is presumably a facility that he controls based on the Black Ops Cold War lore. This one's going to be something we have to wait and see on, though. Now, there are also a bunch of other rumors circulating regarding zombies, and none of these have any concrete confirmation, but I just want to list some of them off because it's fun to speculate. One of the biggest rumors is that zombies might release early as part of the Vault Edition. We know there's going to be a beta for the game, which is probably going to start just after COD Next on August 28th, but various platforms are also talking about the release date of the game being earlier than October 25th, and that's making people think that it's a partial early release, and it's zombies specifically that's releasing early. Now, this would kind of align with what they did with Modern Warfare 3, because in Modern Warfare 3, we had a whole bunch of zombies focus initially, and then people went from zombies into Warzone later on. So maybe they want a kind of similar cadence here. Other rumors include tentacle dogs, the return of manglers, new wonder weapons, which maybe make enemy skin start bubbling. That's a real kind of unconfirmed one. The jet gun's been talked about for months now. People have been saying, yeah, the jet gun's in the strings, it's in the strings. We'll see. And I've also seen people saying that exfils are returning as well. So was there anything in this list that you didn't know yet? If so, maybe drop a like on the video, and I'll see you guys next time.